Hi, this is Barbara Ireland, and my question for you today is, do you feel like there is a loss of magic or sparkle or aliveness sometimes in your life? Maybe a lot of times in your life. I am perceiving, and I've witnessed this in various times in my own life, and I'm perceiving it around me in a more generalized way, that there's this kind of flatness going on of mundaneness and distraction and things separating us from a more rich experience of life. And I have some thoughts about that can help bring more sparkle and aliveness and magic, or whatever you want to call it, into your life. I believe that part of what's going on in this age of information and technology is that there's a separation between us and the broader aspect of life. That's partially nature. We're more inside more, we're on computers more. And it's also with social media, because if you're experiencing something exquisite in your life, often people are grabbing their cameras to photograph that, to put on social media, to talk about this amazing thing that's happening, rather than just being in that moment and experiencing it full on. So those are a couple things. Also, with all this technology, there's an extraordinary amount of distraction. There are dings on our phones all the time. We're waiting for that kind of serotonin blast that we get from the dings or the likes or whatever it is. There are so many shows to watch, and there's news feeds, and there's constant distraction, to the point where when I'm with people, it's a miracle if I can get them to focus with me and be here now, as Ram Dass said. And these moments of presence, when we can actually be here, when we can take a walk and look at an extraordinary flower, or even a tiny little ladybug, when we can look into someone's eyes and really see a spirit behind there, something is behind there, and connect, listen to what they're actually saying, to feeling what it feels like to be in a body that has these strange boundaries called skin, an outline of like where we're contained in this physical form. These are all aspects of being in the present, or being in the present with a feeling, whether that's a feeling that's comfortable or whether it's a feeling that's uncomfortable, but actually feeling it, and not distracting with social media or food or TV or alcohol or anything to get out of that present moment. So I've been seeing this going on. And in addition to all that, there is a natural desire for comfort. Who doesn't want to feel comfortable? Who doesn't want to feel safe? Of course we want comfort. Of course we want to feel safe. And that can be emotionally and physically safe, whatever. And so there's a constant, well, I'm using extreme words like constant, but there's a very often impetus for us, our ego, everything, to plan accordingly and control things as much as we possibly can, so that we remain in a state of comfort and safety. And so we adjust how we look on social media so that we are liked, which is a feeling of comfort and safety. We don't like feeling things that intensely, at least not unwanted emotions, fear and sadness and anger, whatever these things are, disappointment, frustration, irritation. We don't want to feel them that much because that's uncomfortable, feels unsafe. We feel a little out of control. Even the way, we eat, or what activities we choose to do, or how much we're willing to reveal of ourselves to another person. All of these are ways of contracting our experience of life so that it fits in a little presentation that's comfortable and safe. And of course we do this. It's natural. With all these things, the technology, the desire for comfort, all these things, they flatten the experience of life, make it dull. It loses its sheen, it loses its surprise, it loses its intensity, its joy, its feeling, its connection, its embodiment in the body. It loses these feelings. We dull everything down. The past 2.5, 3 months, my life has been anything but dull. And I will tell you, from the outside, people probably see me as being lazy, or I must be bored. I am anything but lazy and bored right now. I am taking, I guess I would call it a sabbatical. It's a sabbatical from all these things I just said. It's a sabbatical from outward achieving, from distracting, from controlling what I can't control, from avoiding emotions. And instead, I am choosing to be fully, as much as I can handle, fully engaged in life, in the life process, which includes life and death and joy and sadness and energy and lethargy and great dreams and disappointments. It's all there. It also includes being fully in the body and being so much more understanding of who is actually in the body, which takes this subject all into another realm. So we're not going to go all into there right now, but that is part of it. I have discovered, first of all, it's very different to know any of the things I'm talking about, including spirit, from a level of belief, a level of knowledge, versus a level of experience. And these last 2.5, 3 months for me have been experiential into all the things that are magical, that are out of the comfort zone, that are full of depth and richness and aliveness and intensity. And so I wanted to give you today a couple suggestions. If you're feeling like life is a little dull, a little squashed, a little contracted. The first one is what I am calling to myself recently the master key of all the tools that I have learned. There is a master key that has helped me the most. And this is surrender. Another word for this, if you don't like the idea of surrender because you think of battles and people are like, I give up. It's not about giving up. It's about accepting what is and about letting go of control. I know you heard that one. Let go of control. No one wants to let go of control. Believe me, letting go, surrendering to what is, has been one of the most extraordinary, I'm tearing up, lessons and joys and transformations. This is what happens. This all started, I'm not going to go into all that. Let's stay on surrender. So what does it mean to surrender? Surrender means whether something has happened or not. Let's say you just wake up today and you're watching this and you have a plan for your day. Okay, good. So you're going to go on with your plan for the day. You're going to get in your car and you're going to go somewhere. You're going to go to work, or you're going to meet someone, or you're going to get groceries or whatever. You're going to get your kids off to school, whatever you're doing. Things aren't going to go as planned. They're not going to go as you have pictured them in your morning plan. Something's going to go wrong. You're going to get in a conflict with your partner, or you're going to accidentally slam your shin against the coffee table, or your kid's going to slap your leg and in anger, we're talking little kids on it. Or you're going to spill all your coffee on yourself, or you're going to do a mistake at work. Whatever it is, something, you're going to have a slow driver or a tailgater on. Something's going to happen. And in those little moments, they're maybe not so little, but some maybe little moments, it means I surrender to what is happening right now, this moment. The coffee all over me, the argument that's happening. Can I settle in and not resist, not try to control? There's a slow driver in front of me. It's slowing me down for a meeting. Can I not grab the steering wheel harder and yell at them from inside my car and they can't even hear me? Can I settle back and go into acceptance, surrender of what is in that moment? This is a master key, I am telling you, to transformation. It will feel very strange. There will be so much of you wanting to resist what is. That is the control. And as you let go, and there's not even like a technique to let go. You just stop resisting what is. You just say, this is happening. And you stop pushing against it. And then just start watching what happens when you do that. Just watch. Just observe in yourself, in other people, in the things that start happening to you outside, in your dreams. So this is the first thing I want to say. The second one is to stop complaining for a minimum of 1 week. And if that is too hard, if you are a pretty intense complainer, then 1 day. But let's go for 1 week to start of no complaining, as little as you can. Now this means for sure no complaints out of your mouth to another person. That includes, it's raining again today. When are we going to get spring or summer or whatever? Or God, my spouse was so rude to me this morning. You wouldn't believe what he did. Whoops. Or it is, you have your friends over for dinner and a meal came out a little bit wrong. There's no complaining about how the meal came out. You laugh about it. You accept what is. You just serve it. You might say, it's not, didn't taste exactly the way it has before, but this is what we're having tonight. I'm so happy to see you, my friends. If it's a physical thing, you go into acceptance of that and just don't complain about it. Meaning, you can switch out the word complaint for talk. Don't talk about the things you don't want to be happening or you didn't like. So for sure, not out of your mouth. The second level of this is to, as much as you can, stop the complaints in your own mind, in your own head, because you will hear them. There's a lot in there, believe me. Even for non-complainers, so-called non-complainers, wait till you try this experiment. Ooh-wee. So those are the two things I recommend. Not resisting what is, otherwise known as surrender, and no complaining for a minimum of a week. And again, start observing what happens in your body, in your heart, in your mind, in your relationships, in how strangers are to you, in how you enjoy your life maybe a little more. Just see. I'm not going to say the results, but these are profound tools. If you think about a mind loop, and if you don't know my work, mind loops are repetitive negative thoughts. It could be self-doubt, worry, resentment, whatever. When you think about a mind loop, one of the biggest mind loops there are complaints. Things are not the way we want them to be. Someone has done something we don't like. Oh, and by the way, complaints also are about yourself. No complaining about yourself either, okay? When we consciously choose to stop complaining, you will have no idea how fewer thoughts you have, how fewer negative viruses you start spewing out of your mouth around you to the people around you. So they're not catching the virus of negative thoughts. The complaints are astounding. They cover so many aspects of who we are as humans, the aspects of life we don't like. And when that is cut off, there's this peacefulness, this emptiness, this, in a good way, emptiness, this air that starts a space. That's what I'm looking for. There's some space that gets to flow in, where it was all distraction from social media, putting ourselves down, putting other people down. Everything's wrong. The news, blah, 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 blah. Suddenly that calms down and something else gets to start taking that place. You can call it space. You can call it spirit. You can call it presence, whatever you want to call it. But you will notice something different going on. So those are my two thoughts for you today. And just also as a little third thing, just notice how much distraction is going on, how much you are unconsciously distracting yourself from the experience of life. And I will tell you, I was just on the phone with a friend this morning, telling them about my day yesterday. And that's why I'm talking to you about this, because he was astounded at what he called the magic I'm experiencing. I'm having synchronicities consistently. that connect with dreams and phrases. I mean, in just yesterday alone, 3 different moments, there was someone saying carpe diem. That means seize the day. Carpe diem. I haven't thought of that word in a long time. So that was one. Another was I saw a red-tailed hawk killing and eating a full-sized black crow. I won't go into that whole story. Later, I saw another red-tailed hawk in a completely different area of the city, completely different situation, flying right above me, holding an 8-inch fish. Those are just 3 aspects of what I'm experiencing on a daily basis. There is so much magic, sparkle, aliveness, spirit, bizarre, incredible aspects of life waiting for you. So if you want to have a little more sheen, a little more glisten, a little more aliveness to your life, try these 2 things and start observing where that leads you and how you feel. Surrender and no complaining. And thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best, my friend.